You are watching Travel World Online.
It's the states. And collectively, these 7 states represent almost 60% plus GDP for the country. So, by definition, we are preparing ourselves for more than 3 times the growth of the infrastructure. So, our planning for next 25-30 years is that every airport where we are running currently will have a capacity of 4 times. So, that's the infrastructure we are trying to build now.
So, in terms of each of these airports, can you please tell me Mumbai, we are aware of 45 million existing capacity will go down. What are we looking at Lucknow, for example? And each of these airports, in terms of what's the structural capacity available at your airports?
So currently the infrastructure, of course, the limitations we have, Mumbai, as you said, is 45 million, Navi Mumbai will be actually 90, Lucknow, the new terminal that we have built is around 15, phase 2 will be 25. But again, our master plan is for next 25-30 years where we will triple or 4 times the capacity at each airport. Ahmedabad, we are starting completely new terminal to double the capacity of what we have today in D1, D2. Of course, as Vidya was also talking about, most of the airports are land constraints. So that will become a limitation. And if you see 20-30 years down the line, most of these cities, Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Lucknow, will end up having either additional land acquisition or second airports under that.
So it's very important point. So you're saying for the next 15-20 years you'll have enough capacity in these airports. Is that what you're saying? Because I think it's about 200 million minus Mumbai and Delhi that you're trying to build.
So currently we are handling close to 100 million, excluding Navi Mumbai. Once Navi Mumbai comes up, phase 1 we will have 20 million additions from the country. So in the next 15 years we have to go to 300 million capacity.
Including Mumbai.
But some of the airports like Ahmedabad, we are already in discussion, single runway won't be able to take that capacity. So we have to acquire additional lands, look at options for second runway. That's a long-term project.
Right.
We are building terminal infrastructure, which is scalable and modular in nature. Then top up with physical infrastructure with digital. That's the biggest focus area we have. Adani as a group, when we acquired 6 airports and even Mumbai, we took it over from AI or the another promoter. None of the airport has standard digital solutions. So our focus is to unify, make sure that we can get 15-20% efficiency of the existing infrastructure with digital solutions.
Right.
So those are the phases we are driving.
What about the airside part of it? Earlier, when it was with AI, there is some aircraft airside capacity. Now with the kind of growth and your ambitions at each of these airports, how is the airside being is augmented simultaneously?
So digital has 2 parts. Of course, one is the passenger and the terminal side. But the biggest investment from us on digital is also improving the capacity in the air side. The smart lighting, turnaround time, immediate reduction. So a lot of digital investments in that thing. I don't want to steal the thunder because my colleague is talking in the afternoon. She's the CEO. So she will talk about the digital solution. If I talk, you don't need her on the side. So I leave it for her to talk about the specific solutions we are developing.
What about the airlines? How are you cooperating with them in terms of making sure that there is enough airside available?
The AI is a very important stakeholder for us. We work with them, we share our roadmap, we design the solution. I think AI is also realizing that with the evolution of aviation industry in India and globally, there are new technologies needed. You know it very well. Whole Europe is going away with ATC tower now. They are moving to digital. It will take time for India for us to realize. I've been talking to AI also. They will do a trial now with digital tower. And if they are satisfied, we will eventually. I foresee in 20 years time in India there won't be any air traffic control towers. Everything will be digital and remote. So those will also free up a lot of lands.
Tell us about what are we seeing in Navi Mumbai and what is the operational preparedness, state infrastructure?
So Navi Mumbai is progressing well. We have completed the runway already by September and we can even land the aircraft and the aircraft there. The terminal will be ready. The commercial operations we are hoping to do March 25.
March 25. Is the CIDCO part of it contributing as much towards your deadline and wanting to do it by March 25?
Yeah, we are working very closely with CIDCO. You know, with Arun CIDCO rating, the connectivity problem is solved. There is last mile connectivity there. But also we should realize Navi Mumbai will be the only airport in entire India which will have multimodal connectivity. It has rail, metro, it has road, it has waterways. The bullet train will pass through Navi Mumbai airport when it's ready. The Mumbai Hyderabad. So Navi Mumbai will be the first airport in India with multi-mode connectivity. It will take time, 3-4 years now.
Right.
But eventually that will have a result.
In terms of Navi Mumbai, go-to-market for aero, go-to-market for non-aero, go-to-market for CST, is it in line what you told us last year?
Yeah, so what we talked about last year, I think, and Vidya was talking before me, so the aspiration of as part of Indians are also growing. Last year, if you really look at the number, out of 90 million passengers passing through Dubai, close to 15 to 16 million was Indians passing through Dubai, simply because there is no connectivity from India. And then that's where the non-aero revenue loss happens for us in India also. So I foresee with the new aircraft, wide-body aircraft, and the ambition Air India has its direct connectivity, eventually from one of the India, passenger aspiration at the airport will reflect that part. So we are preparing Navi Mumbai from day one to meet that aspirational aspect of the passengers with brands, retails, F&B, high-end, and make sure that we have best brands coming to India. Also, what's big change what's happening is with the economic growth of India, there is not a single brand in the world who doesn't want a presence in India. And there is no better place in a controlled way to launch a brand in India as through airports. Because retail, the prices are very high, the high speed, there is a lot of uncertainty. But at the airport, they can launch their brand in a very controlled way. And that's what we are talking to. A lot of brands which even today doesn't exist in India. They are keen to come to India.
And in terms of the go-to-market on the aero side, attracting domestic and international airlines, are you seeing commitment and attraction already in place?
So, I mean, we have been talking to all airlines, domestic and international. Of course, their concern is the connectivity of Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. There is no metro yet, but there is plan to have metro. Until then, there will be a split operations for most of the airlines. Of course, I understand the pain point the airlines will have because of that is that the cost goes up to run two different operations. But we are working with all airlines to find the most optimal split of airlines depending on the passenger split between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. One good thing has happened is last year when I was here, we were not so sure what will be the connectivity to Navi Mumbai. Now with the speed of the connectivity happening, I think Navi Mumbai will be able to, catchment area will expand significantly south of Mumbai. If you are in south of Mumbai today, to Mial, existing airport is 40-45 minutes. To Navi Mumbai, it will be 35 minutes. So the passenger mix, so airlines are also doing their own studies for the catchment area, what kind of profile and accordingly what aircraft are going to there. Then Navi Mumbai will be the most digitized airport from day one. The greenfield, you will have much more parking space, you will have much more passenger convenience. So eventually I see Navi Mumbai becoming a hub for us in Mumbai.
I wanted to particularly ask because these will be a three-terminal infrastructure. At one point of time, having worked for your previous promoters of Mumbai or GVK, one of our suggestions was, and to the government as well, is to build some fast-track connectivity between these. Then you become a, let's call one airport system. And that can change Bombay and its urban economics and the regional economics. Is there a positive response from the government in terms of building and quickly? Because normally the government can take a lot of time.
No, there is a very active discussion with Maharashtra government to connect existing airport with the Navi Mumbai airport through metro. T1, T2 is in our own hand and we will do that ourselves. From existing airport to Navi Mumbai, there is a discussion to do metro in quite advanced stage. And we hope that now, once elections are over, our government will start the process for either PPP or building themselves.
Which moment you, if it is not one system, then the networks that you could develop in Navi Mumbai will be perhaps very different from what it ideally could be. And that will have a tremendous impact on the whole non-aero retail side in terms of what you can offer.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest advantage for us is that we are the single owner for T1, T2, and if you call it T3 at Navi Mumbai. So we are working with government to make it happen because it's in our interest that Navi Mumbai and Mumbai work as integrated airport system happens to be 70 kilometers apart, 45 kilometers apart.
Once the Navi Mumbai is in population, what kind of initial impact it will have on the current airport? It may release some slots, some traffic may go initially there, and you could deploy those slots profitably. Is there a plan in place that how many slots will be available? And what do you do with the slots? Like we heard from Canada that they need to develop a hub, do more long flights. Is it an opportunity that you see that some of the slots will get vacant? And people will go to the new terminal, are we going to create more value for the airport?
No, absolutely. If you today see the problem of Mumbai, and if you compare say 2014, 15 pre-jet era time, Mumbai and Delhi are almost the same passenger number. Now Delhi is around 70, Mumbai is at 45, simply because of the side restrictions. And we are slot consumers. Talk to any airline, they would like to have much more slots in Mumbai than we can currently offer. So now with two runway system, we should be able to offer much more slots in Mumbai, whether it is Navi Mumbai, Mumbai. And we are working actively with airlines. So we don't put any particular airline at disadvantage. So we will share our plans. We are actively working on them. Depending on which aircraft we want to move to Navi Mumbai, accordingly we will then
have slots.
And then also another aspect is the general aviation aspects. As you know that there are around 180 private aircrafts pending application to DGCA. Majority of them are in Mumbai. Today we have no capacity. We will facilitate that part of the traffic as well in Mumbai and Mumbai city.
Then in the cargo side, this is what we were talking internally in our company, we will do the cargo logistics. Do you see, because once the connectivity improves between the two airports, that you could just centralize the entire infrastructure of cargo in Mumbai with a proper logistics hub, and it would move to this airport very quickly through roadside access?
So our ambition is to make Navi Mumbai the hub for cargo. Because closeness to the port and everything, I think connectivity will be better, we will have much more land availability. Of course, Mumbai will remain that belly cargo, but the freighters and the plant cargo, we will make Navi Mumbai as the hub. We are doing investment in new building, new infrastructure, digitalization. And I foresee, say, in 5 to 10 years' time, Navi Mumbai will be a cargo hub for India.
I want to ask when the privatization in Mumbai happened earlier, the plan to develop parallel runway or more RETs, for example, was limited because of the constraints. Now with slum development, with Kalina possibly doing some of the hangars that were there which were bottleneck, is there now a possibility that you could do more on the air side than what you used to do before because of this limitation?
So the limitation is the single runway, it's a cross runway airport, as you know. So we are running around at peak 44, 45. We compare ourselves with Gatwick, which is equivalent single runway, they can go up to 52. So at best we can do with technology, with new rapid exit taxiways and everything is around 50, 52. That's our ambition to reach in the next 3-4 years.
Right. But in terms of this capacity that gets eased up, because visiting that place, there was some demolition hangars on that side, Kalina, slums, as you redevelop now.
So we are
doing redevelop new CSMI airport actually in many ways.
So once NML becomes operational, that will give us a lot of operational flexibility to make those changes because those hangars are needed today for MRO purposes. But until we can move them to Navi Mumbai,
yes,
the general aviation aircrafts are parking in that area. Until we move them,
right.
There are jet airways aircraft parking there. Until we remove them, the eventual idea is to clean out the whole area, redevelop it, and then maximize the airside capacity.
Now with portfolio airports hopefully more on the aero side, what are the synergies that you are unlocking and what's the value of that synergy as of now?
Between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai?
All the airports together, because we have 2 airlines or 3 airlines.
So of course, there is tremendous amount of synergy to have a platform of airport. We don't see ourselves as just airport operator, but we have a platform of airports. And with that, number one is we are able to invest in digitization. No single airport owner in the country and in the world can make that investment because we are talking about almost $250 to $300 million of investment in digital technology. So if you imagine yourself being a single airport operator, nobody can afford it. So we will invest, we are creating a single platform, we are unifying technologies which we can leverage. Second is the purchase power. Last year on this stage, I was very new in the job. I stood up after 2 months into the job, and I said that the vendor ecosystem is destroying the Indian aviation. They were just monopolizing. The software vendors, I will not name, but they are non-open source systems. It doesn't work with each other. We are working with local partners to break that monopoly. So the overall operations of the airport through this software vendor system will go down 25-30% in next 2 years. So that once we can pass that savings to the consumer, that is the biggest benefit of every airport. I couldn't have do it if I only had one airport. But if we see ourselves as 6, 7, 8 and eventually 15, 20 airport operator, we have that leverage to develop local ecosystem, which doesn't exist. I mean, everybody talks about India being the software hub of the world. There is not a single passenger processing system which is developed in India. And every vendor is taking us for a ride. If you look at all the safety equipments, we all talk about growth in India and going 1 million plus. There is not a single company who is delivering the CT scanners or X-ray machines in India. The authorities are hand in glove with these vendors. They make specifications which you can only buy from Americans or Europeans. I'm going to break them. We are working actively with DGCA, with PCAS, with AI, MOPA, everybody. We have to have a specification where we can buy local system. Made in India, that will bring down the cost by 30%. So these are the benefits which we can then make the cost for passengers much more affordable.
But in terms of developing airport network in these airports, now you have to principal carriers. Is there a group synergy in terms of deploying capacities in various airports? Like for example, we make a slot in Bombay, you may ask for more traffic or more, let's say, operations with other airports. Is that synergy being used?
Absolutely. Maybe the airlines, they have one person to talk to for 7 airports, 8 airports. They don't have to talk to multiple people. And there's a lot of synergies to work because we can then package night parking at one of our stations so that the turnaround is easy. There's a tremendous synergy for airlines and us to work together, utilizing the platform because parking is one of the biggest challenges. Imagine now when there's a challenge, but when 1,000 aircraft are delivered in the next 15 years, there's no parking. But we can then manage the parking space within our airport ecosystem and give them slots accordingly. But before, suppose they have to park in Guwahati, but then they need a slot to fly from Guwahati to Mumbai. And Mumbai doesn't give a slot. That's a waste. So now we can package it out and we say, okay, why don't you park your aircraft at Jaipur or at Guwahati? And we give you morning slot to land at Mumbai. So we can capture Mumbai traffic and synergies. There are a lot of synergies.
In terms of the non-urban city segment, again on a platform basis, how are you approaching the entire duty-free, retail, food and beverage, all formats? Is there a, let's say, common sort of an approach dealing with these?
Absolutely. I mean, non-aero also there is this tremendous synergy. Us having 7 or 8 airports, because the total area for duty-free, retail, F&B gets multiplied by 8, so it becomes significant. And hence we are able to bring any brand into India which doesn't exist today. So we are upgrading our duty-free offerings, we are upgrading our retail offering, we are upgrading our retail offering by talking to the partners who want to enter India. And with talking to us, they immediately get 8 city entry or 7 city entry to start with, Mumbai being one city. So that gives some economic scale to talk to the retailers and enhance the.
And with the platform and a lot of impact on digitalization leading to more knowledge of the customer, are you going to see, is it in your plan, you will see strengths increasing significantly?
I mean, if you look at our 7 airports together with Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, we have a capex plan of almost $8 to $9 billion just on the aero side, on the aero non-aero, excluding the city side. We have significant capex allocated for upgrading this capacity. Not to talk about city side, collectively we have around 660, 700 acres of land outside airport, which we have not invested yet, but we are accelerating our investment. So that's what we will make it an integrated city. And if you look at all our airport locations today, it's in the middle of the city. So our vision of creating this world-class city within the city is that this will be a destination, aspirational destination for city dwellers to come there. I emphasize we have religious tourism increasing in India. With the facilities we will create in the next 5 years, we will see tourism within India, people coming to Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, to experience something which doesn't exist in India. So that multiplication factor of addressable market will be 10 times. So we are not talking about 3 billion, we are talking about touching the life of 3 billion people within India from existing 8 airports.
Will be 8 airports, how are you standardizing customer experience? Because it shouldn't be that one airport is different, the other airport is different. So what's being done?
It's a very good point. We are not there yet, but we are now unifying. When people go through Adani airport, what does it stand for? We are not ready yet. We are working on it. We are also standardizing the service level. We are also standardizing the look and feel of the airport, the branding part. So we are working on all this so that when people just enter, we don't have to say Adani airport. They will just experience something which is unique, whether it is in Lucknow airport, Mumbai, they should have the same level of service.
And in terms of what we asked today, also in terms of access infrastructure, there are some airports which possibly would see trouble. What is being done on a platform basis to make sure that access infrastructure doesn't show the infrastructure inside the airport?
No, I mean, you see, passenger journey, it's in our interest also. As an airport, I think that's where we need to work hand in hand with the regulatory authorities to make them understand that providing a customer journey is in the best interest of airport operator. We don't want inconvenience passengers. Our strategy is today when Indian passengers come to the airport, there are a lot of anxiety anyhow. How they will be treated by CISF, how will they be treated by immigration, will they catch the flight, how will that happen? We want to convert that anxiety into excitement. The first part of excitement is the passenger convenience. So there is no way we will do anything because there is a lot of myth that the airport operators are just monetizing the land. Passenger has to jump over the retail shop and everything. That's not the case. We also want, and our regulator has encouraged them to go to the world best airports around the world and see how passenger flow happens. And we want to be the best in the world. Our consumers deserve to get best in the country. Why should Indian passengers go to Dubai or Goa or Singapore and Zurich and come back and say what experience they had? They should have same experience in India. So we are requesting and we want to work with regulator to make sure that we are on the same boat. We are not on a different boat.
So tell us about big cities getting support from, let's say, Maharashtra government, big state, a lot of competing factors. How is federal governments working with you to, whether it's an incentivization, soft, or in other ways to work with you so that the entire economy of that state can be improved significantly?
So there are a lot of studies. If you really look, one additional airport in a city contributes to almost 1.3 to 1.6% of the GDP. So state gets it, federal government gets it. There are AI airports that federal government run. A lot of states are trying now come up with a greenfield, their own airport. And we work with them. And there are matters like Navi Mumbai. To build a metro connectivity is the Maharashtra government. We need to work with them. But all other infrastructure, what we are allowed to do, that's the federal government. And we need to work with both agencies. So, but that collaboration is good. I think the good part is the government and the state government understands the relevance of having a nice airport in the city and how much that contributes to the GDP growth. Once that is clear, then to have the collaboration is very easy. Now the question comes, how do we translate that collaboration into cost actions? That's up to us to work collaboration.
Do you see the federal states looking at, because it will take a lot of time to prioritize like these smaller airports, if you come for example, in area and do you see it makes sense for the federal governments to say not equity investment, that principal airport is Lucknow, is with Adani, but the management of these small airports, which will improve the entire system, aviation system, that the same big airport operator could manage these small assets. No financial, let's say, investments till they are at that stage for those investments. But do you see that opportunity coming out in your discussions that you say, I can manage this asset, I can manage that asset, and the system efficiencies could be much better?
I cannot comment on the government.
No,
my view is that the government role should be to make regulations and let the market economies drive the business. So I hope that the government will think about it. Their job is to put regulate regulations which is conducive for the investment in the country, and they should monitor the regulations. And the private business decides what is the economics of money, how we should be done. That's definitely economic scale advantage. This is a consumer business. So anybody operating 50 airport will be able to provide much better service to the consumer than somebody running 1 or 2 airports. I don't foresee in 10 years time in India there will be a single airport operator because economic scale will not allow them to invest in the infrastructure.
Tell us about fundraising. The appetite in terms of the capex that you have is significant going forward. We saw some recent analyst presentations that you made. So, what kind of fundraising are you doing?
So, that's of course, as I talked about, the capex part we are talking about is in excess of 10 billion plus if I take city side also. So, we are in the market looking for funds, both domestic and international. That's the group ability with multiple businesses we have. The ability to raise funds is reasonably good for us. And everybody, all investors are really looking because there are very few parts of the world which are in a growth economy. India is growing. Within India, then aviation is growing 20% plus. Average CAGR of 7-8. There are hardly any businesses where there's so much of growth. And there's excess capital in the world. Today you see investors lining up outside India to invest in different. Within India, the infrastructure investment is easy.
Do you see, for example, opportunities to have a CSC at the platform level and bring different investors so that you can unlock more value, given the fact that you're already paying about 10 million?
That's one option to see how do we maximize the investment for both cities. Right now, we are looking at collectively, but it doesn't exclude us to maybe hype of CSD part to create value.
In terms of expansion right now, domestic and international, is there a continuation of the ambition that you have?
So we see, if I sit here and say I have no ambition of growth, I don't deserve the job. Every CEO's number one mission in life is to grow the business when the right opportunity comes. So I would say if the right opportunity comes, creates value for the group, we will go for it. Yeah. And as you know, in very well, Indian government at least has the ambition to do second round of when it happens, we look at the opportunity. If it's value accretive to us from a group point of view, we will participate. Both domestic and international.
The other thing is in terms of we talked about the base head, the meeting infrastructure, we need to collaborate, compete for sure. At a power level or at a system level, is there a collaboration where state and federal governments will see more opportunities to go ahead, ease up a few things on the regulatory or policy side, similarly with ARS, similarly with others? Is there a common sort of action to be in place or likely to be in place?
It's already in place, and as Vidya was saying also, we need to collaborate. I mean, there are a lot of federal matters where it is common for all airport operators, it doesn't matter. And I think in our case, we don't even compete. We are in states where other operators are operating. So, BCAS matter, AI matter, MOCA matters, DGCA matter. There are a lot of areas where we can collaborate even more to do. I don't know, if we collaborate, we can always do more.
Excellent. Anything that when you were here last year, you were 15 months back, you were 2 months into the job, and now it is 15 months. What's your experience been like? Because you come from a very, very different industry.
I come from very different environment. My whole friend is sitting at home. I came from telecom, but I must say, telecom is a dead sector. Globally, it's growing 1-2%. This sector is growing 20% plus. Right. So there are hardly any demand is not an issue for aviation right now. Right. You see in India all aircrafts are running at 97% occupancy. Right. It's a fantastic segment. We just need to work with government to accelerate the growth, capture the growth.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
You are watching Travel World Online.